Hi, my name is Borawski. I'm the expert manager in SaMASZ, Poland. In today's video, I would like to give you a short description of PerfectCUT cutter bar. In this video, we will talk about the PerfectCUT cutter bar, which is designed for a heavy-duty operation. PerfectCUT cutter bar is a fully welded design, and the gear pattern in the cutter bar is, we call it a satellite pattern, a staggered pattern. So the cutting discs are moved up front, they are backed up with the idler gears from behind, so the cutter bar itself, the whole assembly can take more force and take more load. Each and every PerfectCUT cutter bar features a quick blade replacement system. For changing the blades, you need this lever here. You need to remember that the discs needs to be in line like that, and then we insert the lever in between the blade holder and the disc itself. The recess here or here will allow the blade holder to go down enough to let the blade off. So, like you can see, changing of blades on the cutting unit is a matter of minutes. There is no need of taking those bolts off. In PerfectCUT cutter bar, we've got two types of discs. This is a standard disc installed in the most versions of the machines, and we have the disc with the instep. This instep is installed as a standard in the machines with the roller conditioner, just to give a material a kick and feed the roller conditioner. So in simple words, this instep here on the disc will bump the material up. In some cases, in weak grasses, in the machines without conditioner, it increases machine's performance. It is available as an optional equipment. So we talked about the discs and the types of discs. On those two sides, we've got discs with drums. And what I like to add is that the discs with insteps are installed on this cutter bar only for the purpose of this video. So in normal use, the machine is equipped with all standard discs. Okay, so I showed you how easy it is to change blades in the PerfectCUT cutting unit. So we need to add that we've got a left blade and a right blade. So on the blade there is an arrow, and this arrow needs to correspond with the direction of rotation of the disc. So this disc rotates that way, so the arrow on the blade needs to point that way, and this is a right blade. Here the arrow points the other direction, so the disc rotates the other direction, so it means that this blade is a left blade. PerfectCUT cutter bar, as standard, is equipped with the safe gear protection system. So in case of hitting any obstacle during operation, or in case of a direct hit onto the disc, there is a cutoff key which will be cut off, and so there is no damage to the gears inside the cutter bar. I will show you how to replace the module or the cutoff key. To replace the cutoff key or to change the disc module, we need to take the cutting disc off. In order to do it, we need to remove those 4 bolts here. Then we take the disc off. I will talk about the blade holder in a minute. So we've got a disc module here, right? So to replace the disc module, we need to take those 5 nuts off. The shape of the top hub makes it easier to remove the nuts. So that's the disc module of the PerfectCUT cutting unit. Like you can see here, we've got a keyway. In that keyway, we have a cutoff key installed. It is secured with the snap ring here. So in case of hitting any obstacle, this cutoff key will get sheared. We've got another key in the top part of the shaft here, but it only holds the top hub in position. So the one which is actually works as a safety is the bottom one. Once we replaced the cutoff key, we need to reinstall the disc module. What is really important is the timing of the discs. So in order to get the timing right, we need to remove neighboring cutting disc. So once we removed the neighboring cutting disc, we need to make sure that holes in the top hub of the GUT module need to line up with the holes on the module that we have changed. Once those 4 holes line up, we can put the nuts back on. All the nuts need to be torqued with the torque wrench. The force for those 5 nuts is 85 Newton meters. It is important not to over-tighten those nuts because the studs sticking out from the cutter bar shell are really difficult to replace once it turns in the cutter bar. So 85 Newton meters on those 5 nuts here. What is important about the disc modules is that they have different types of top hubs. We've got 5 different types of top hubs, and the position of those modules or top hubs is in the spare parts catalog. So when you want to replace the disc module, always refer to the spare parts book to check if the top hub is the one that should be installed in that position. Type of the top hub is marked with the proper letter in this place. In this particular situation, we've got a right top hub. So once we have this part of the cutting unit exposed, so I can tell you about the other features of this cutting unit. So like you can see here, those 2 pins and bolts hold the idler gears in position. So the gear pattern and layout of the gears inside the cutter bar, we call it a satellite. The cutting units, cutting discs, are moved up front and they are backed up from behind with the big idler gears. Those two elements here, we call them in between the slide insert. The purpose of those cast iron inserts is to absorb the hit of the blade. So in simple words, those two pieces, they protect the front part of the cutting unit. So when reinstalling the cutting disc on the cutter bar, we need to make sure that the discs are square to each other. So when we are going to mount the disc, we will mount it in this position. But what is important about the cutting disc in SaMASZ machinery is that each and every rotating part is balanced in our factory. So like you can see here, that's the correction mass welded to the disc. So it means that the disc has been balanced. The other feature which is really nice is this blade pin here. The shape of the pin, the bottom part is offset a little bit, but it creates kind of a catch. It will keep the blade stay on the pin during operation. This is a SaMASZ blade holder. It should be installed prior the installation of the cutting disc. This recess here will allow the blade holder to go down enough to create a space so the blade can be taken off the blade pin. This edge here, it cleans the top surface of the cutter bar for better performance. As it comes to the cutter bar maintenance, we recommend to change the oil after first 50 hours, then after 500 hours, or at least once a season. Oil used in this cutter bar is 80 W90. The capacities of the oil vary because of the length of the cutting unit. Detailed amounts of the oil in the cutter bars you can find in operator's manual. All the PerfectCUT cutter bars, they've got a access opening at the end of the cutter bar. It's closed with the regular flat plate and sealed with the rubber washer and some silicone sealant. Because this is a welded design, the only way to change the gears or to change the oil or to do any service jobs to the elements or parts inside is through that access here. So for example, when we want to change the oil, we recommend to do it through that service opening here. What we need to do, we need to put some kind of stand or support underneath the cutter bar from the gearbox side, rest everything down so it creates an angle. Then we open up the cutter bar, we remove the plate and the rubber seal, and we let the oil out. Remember that it's faster to drain the oil from the cutter bar when you will do it once the oil is warm. So we recommend to run the cutter bar for 10 minutes or so just to warm up the oil so you can drain it completely. So once we drain the oil from the cutter bar, we need to reinstall the cutter bar enclosure, use silicone sealant and a rubber washer, and then we need to fill the cutter bar with oil. We can do it through the check plug here, or if we want to do it faster, then we can do it through the hole where the disc module is installed. So in order to do it, we need to remove the cutting disc and then take the module out, put the oil into the cutter bar, and then put everything back. Like we can see here, the PerfectCUT cutting unit is fully protected and fully covered from the underside. So we have the cutting unit in upward position. What we can see here is that the cutter bar itself is protected or covered by 2 layers of metal. That's the first layer of metal. This is a sliding skid which fully covers the whole underside of the cutter bar. And then the second layer, installed as a standard equipment, is this wear plate, which has a first contact with the ground. In the place of those wear plates, we can install topping skids or double topping skids. If we want to cut higher, to get above a rock level, or simply if the cutting height is higher. If we want to change a wear plate or install a topping skid, is fairly easy to do it because you need to undo those 2 bolts and nuts here, then place the front part of the topping skid or the wear plate in the slide slot, and then secure it back with the bolt and nut from the rear side. We need to remember that the last wear plate or topping skid is different. We call it the outer skid or the outer plate because on the other side there is a gearbox, so there is no chance that we can secure the bolt with the nut from the other side. So the outer skid has got only 2 bolts to fasten it to the cutter bar. What is worth to mention that in PerfectCUT cutter bar we have those in between slide inserts. Those inserts are made of cast iron, so they are soft and they will absorb the force of the blade once the blade is bent. So in the other words, those inserts, they protect the front part of the cutting unit. Those inserts are welded to the cutter bar's lip. So when you need to replace it, you need to cut it out and weld the new insert back in. Cutter bar is really well protected from the underside, which makes it one of the most durable and the strongest cutter bars available on the market at the moment. SaMASZ is among the companies who offers 2 lines of cutter bars. This one is the heavy-duty one called PerfectCUT. We have EcoCut cutter bar, which is designed for lighter operations. This is a bolted design of the cutting unit. I will talk about the features of that design in a different video. So, thank you for your time and attention. If you have any concerns or any questions in regards to the operation or of the cutting unit or the whole machine, always consult operator's manual or contact SaMASZ directly.